And our 5-1 this episode is for
the lovely Angelina Jolie.
Ms. Angelina Jolie. Yep. So, do you have any honourable mentions?
Yeah, I've got a couple. When I was going through this list, I said to you earlier, but off mic, I was actually surprised how many Angelina Jolie films I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And bearing in mind, there's a fair few that I haven't seen, and maybe some of her bigger films.
Yeah.
But the honourable mentions I wanted to put were Salt.
Okay.
And on a similarish vein, Wanted.
Okay.
And I quite liked one of her earlier roles, which is Hackers.
Okay.
Where she met her first husband, wasn't it?
Johnny Lee Miller.
Yeah. So yeah, they're my honourable mentions. What about you? Have you got any?
Yeah, I got two. Again, Salt is an honourable mention for me. And another film which I did like, which was Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
I actually like that film, but is she the bad guy in it?
No, she's the love interest that he had and had to let go and blah, blah, blah. And she's the captain of the ship.
Yeah. So I actually I know it got panned terribly.
Yeah.
But I quite like it. The way it's filmed.
The 1930 serial style.
Yeah. I quite like that. I was going to put that on my list, but it's been so long since I saw it that I didn't actually remember her in there. I know we say it doesn't necessarily mean that that person is the greatest in it, but that's the reason I didn't put it. But I agree with you on that one. I did quite like that film.
Yeah, I enjoyed that film. Right, so your top 5, starting at number 5.
So my number 5 is one that I only watched a couple of years ago. It's a more recent one of hers. It's called For Those Who Wish Me Dead.
Okay.
It's her and her crew are they're part of like a forest fire team, and it's her getting stuck in one of these forest fire towers, but there's a kid. There's a separate side story goes on, and the two stories meet together, and it's a good little film. I really enjoyed it. You know, when you see some of these films and go, oh, is it going to be another bit of that? But it was really well done. I quite enjoyed it. I don't know if you've seen it, I'd recommend it. I think you'd quite like it.
Cool.
What about you? What's your number 5?
Gone in 60 seconds.
Right.
That's my number 5. I've said why. I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed her character in the film. You know, it wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't centered around her. So therefore, in my opinion, it goes down the list, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Rather than her being the lead character. No, I enjoyed this film. I enjoyed I enjoyed her acting in it. And I think for me, this is probably one of the earliest roles that I can remember her in, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I can't remember her too much before that. I think this is where, okay, I've noticed her as an actress. So your number 4.
My number 4 is an episode we've already done before. So it's Lara Croft Tomb Raider. I thought she was
Let
good.
Stop you there.
Is your number 4 Lara Croft Tomb Raider by any chance?
My number 4 is both the Tomb Raiders.
Okay. I much preferred the first one to the second one.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that.
But so that's why I've just put one of them on there. But, you know, I could go for both of them in the same sort of vein if you're putting her as the character in there. Yeah. But yeah, I liked it. We've done the episode. So if you haven't listened to it, look for our Tomb Raider episode.
Yep.
So you've done your number 4. So my number 3.
Your number 3.
My number 3, and it's this high because I didn't expect to actually quite like it.
Okay.
It was just I had nothing to do one day, and I went, "Oh, I'll watch that," and it's Maleficent.
Okay.
I know it's a Disney. I'm not
didn't hit my list, but yeah, I was enjoying it.
And yeah, it was. I thought the story was really good. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I haven't seen
It expands the story really well.
Yeah, I haven't seen the sequel.
I think I have, but I can't remember it. If that makes sense.
And I've only ever watched Maleficent once, but it has just stuck with me that I did really enjoy the story. So that's why it's in there.
Fair enough.
Your number 3.
Hackers.
Okay.
Yeah, an early one for her. I say I didn't really notice her much before this film, but Hackers was a damn good film.
Hmm.
As you said, her Johnny Lee Miller, Wendell Pierce, it's an early one for him that I noticed him in as well. Matthew Lillard may take a lot of
You can see why he got other roles from this, can't you?
yes,
Yeah,
definitely,
definitely.
definitely.
Yeah, you could
I
see.
think he makes the film as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, it's a really enjoyable film. I'd gone back and watched it. I think being even in an IT head that I am, that I could sit there and pull apart most films that have any involvement with IT or anything else. Like I think this is a fun, enjoyable film.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah. And your number two,
My number two is Pushing Tin.
okay?
Um, it's it's centered around air traffic controllers, and it's again, I think she met her husband on this film because Billy Bob Thornton's in this one and John Cusack in there. Um, and it's a very different story. It's a very clever
Hmm.
story. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And it's always stuck in my head, that film. I've only watched
Yeah,
it a couple of times again, but yeah, I don't know what it is with Angelina Jolie that she likes meeting her husband on the sets of films, but um, yeah, that's my number two. What about you, my friend?
my number two is Wanted.
Right?
Mr. Mark Miller's comic book turned into a film.
Yes.
Not as hardcore as the original Mark Miller comic book.
No, no, they did definitely softened it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of you have to
And
shut off disbelief with the bending bullets.
like a lot of Mark Miller films and comic books, they've remade it kick ass and everything else like that. The comic book is a bit more darker and a bit more graphic than the actual film itself.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy what they did with it. I think it's right for a sequel. I do.
Mm, 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 okay.
I think McAvoy did a really good job in it.
Yeah.
So I think all in all, it could be. There was obviously a sequel comic. There was extra comics in there, but it's just one of those things that it's a good film. I enjoyed it, and there's certain elements in there and certain actors in there that I went, oh yeah, I like these guys working together.
And I think that was an early role for Chris Pratt in that as well, wasn't there?
I think so.
He was the one who works in the office with him and is basically doing his girlfriend. And so
Yeah,
he beats he
yeah,
smacks him
knocks his
in the
teeth
face.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And your number one.
So my number one is The Bone Collector.
All right, yeah.
Um, Denzel Washington is the lead, and
Based on a
she's
book, wasn't it?
based on a book by Jeffrey Deaver.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever read any of his stuff personally, but yeah, she's a young detective who's helping out. She's basically the legs and eyes of Denzel Washington's character because he's bedbound. I think is he quadriplegic in it because has to use his mouth for everything, doesn't he?
yeah. I haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's such a good story. I think you'd enjoy it. I think you really would
Okay, cool.
enjoy it.
I think there was a TV series as well. Lincoln Rhyme. I think it was a Hunt for Bone Collector or something, if I remember rightly.
Don't know. Never seen it.
Yeah.
So, what about you? What's your number one? I think I may know.
What do you think it is?
I think it's Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
It is. It's Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. And, the dynamics between her and what are you laughing at?
Another film where she met another husband.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. The dynamics between her and Brad Pitt, I think you can tell at that point that they were getting close, and that's where it all started off. And
Yeah.
I enjoyed the film. I really did. And it's spinning off into the new Amazon series that they've got, which I enjoyed as well. No, there's a lot of elements in that film that I really did like, and it's one of those films where I don't mind going back to it and rewatching it several times. I'm not one of those people that will go, oh, okay, it's not this film again. No,
Mm.
I enjoy it, and every so often you see something little extra inside it. It reminds me very much, in part, of True Lies.
Yep. Yeah. I get
So
that.
that's I think where the two films there have me grasped. So enjoyed, really do.
Yep. Good.
And
Good.
yeah, it's her and Brad Pitt playing husband and wife not realising they're both secret agents for different rival firms.
Yeah.
So, Trev, what is your one bad? And is it the same as my one bad? Because I think we kind of like both went, this film was awful. It could have been so much better.
Well, I think yours is different from mine.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And I
We
think
should have done the whole of this.
So, do you want me to guess what yours is first before I say what mine is?
No, just tell me what your film is.
Mine is Alexander,
Okay.
a film about Alexander the Great. It was awful. She played
Who else
his
starred in that?
Colin Farrell plays
That was it.
Alexander the
Yeah.
Great, who's only like 2 years younger than her, but Angelina Jolie plays his mum.
Yeah.
Whether they did that because Alexander the Great supposedly had a bit of an incestual relationship with his mum, which I think is shown in the film.
Who was Alexander the Great's mum? Wasn't it her that could sink 1,000 ships?
No, you're thinking of Troy, Helena Troy.
Yeah, Helena Troy. Yeah.
I'm going to write something down, and
You know exactly what my film is. I'd be shocked if you didn't. Yeah, it's The Eternals.
That nearly made my bad one, but Alexander was worse for me.
I looking through the list, there are some obvious films that she'd been in, and there's some unobvious films that she'd been in, and it's the amount of films that I've not seen with her, if that makes sense. She's not my go-to.
No, but that's what I was saying about when I was going through the list. I was surprised how many films of hers I liked, but then I haven't seen some massive ones of hers. For example, Girl Interrupted.
Okay.
And there's a few other of like films of note of hers that I've not seen.
Well, there's a film
but
with her and ScarJo. I've seen that, but I can't remember what the name is, and it was just kind of one of those that, yeah, it was good. I'm not going to stick it on my list.
Yeah.
But no, Eternals was just awful. I like the idea, I like the premise, I like the thought behind it, but the execution was just terrible in places. Unfortunate, because it could have been quite a big comic book franchise, to be honest. And there's still call for a couple of the characters to come back, and I think a couple of the characters will come back, but not the main cast ensemble for another Eternals film.
No, well, the Kit Harington character, he's supposed to be
Black Knight.
Black Knight, that's it.
Yeah.
And you hear a voice at the end, which is Blade.
Yeah, the original casting of Blade, not the new casting of Blade.
So, it was definitely linked up for other things, but it just seemed to fall a bit flat, didn't it?
Yeah. As we've said recently, a lot of the Marvel films have fallen flat. So I think that was the beginnings of it. Was Eternals has made it fall flat, and it's gone from there. But Eternals itself has kind of screwed things along, where you've got beings inside the Earth, and now you've got the whole guy sitting with his hand outside, which is now part of potentially going to be adamantium, etc., and everyone's arguing over it. So without that film, you wouldn't necessarily have had that.
Yeah, I quite like though that we had a huge difference in films there. It was we almost went through our whole career between the two of us.
Yeah, it makes a change than having an actor that's just had 5 breakout films and 1 terrible film.
Yeah,
is that it for this episode?
Yes, mate, I think so.
It's always a pleasure speaking to you, my friend.
And to you, and to you.
So, yeah, thanks for listening. Please remember to follow, like, and subscribe. Where can they get hold of us, Trev?
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Just go to @TheDejaReview or contact us via our email, which is thedejareview@gmail.com.
I'm Mart.
And I'm Trev.
Enjoy yourselves.